1015 FM, KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Hey, I'm back. Sorry about last week. First time ever canceling one of my shows. Guys, it wasn't pretty, but I'm okay now. Happy to be back with you. Thanks for being here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. It is the best in pro wrestling news, entertainment, and just all around hijinks and shenanigans. And boy, did we have a week. It was bad enough last week. I can't believe what has gone down in the squared circle and outside of it over the past 7 days. Good Lord. You've got to be kidding me. I want to bring in a guy who's going to help me react to all this, at least for the first hour. If he wants to stay, you know what? I heard his wife's a little worn out, so he can stick around. He is from adfreeshows.com, Josh Rosenbaum, otherwise known as Coach Rosey, nationally regarded basketball coach. Just all around great human being. Hopefully no medical issues today, Coach.
No, knock on wood. Feeling good. Happy to be here, and happy Thanksgiving time. It's a time to be grateful for what we have and thankful for what's in store.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Coach. By the way, you got me on that. If you guys knew what we were talking about, it's unbelievable. But by the way, hello to Game Changer World Podcast. Those guys do a great podcast, by the way, for GCW. So welcome. Yeah. Very happy to have you join us. Where to begin? Well, I think I want to start in TNA, Coach. I want to start in TNA because on Impact on Thursday night, Mike Santana, the newly crowned TNA World Champion, who had all that buildup, didn't get the win in his hometown, wins the title at Bound for Glory. He's defending the title against Ryan Nemeth, and things are going just fine. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of NXT guys come in, destroy him. Nick Nemeth gets attacked in the back room, and Frankie Kazarian shows up after the attack with his Call Your Shot trophy, calls his shot. Santana cannot recover from his injuries, and without any successful title defenses, we have a new TNA World Champion in Frankie Kazarian. There's two sides of the coin on this one, Coach. But I want to start with a positive one. Congrats to Frankie. 27 years in this industry. That guy has done everything that anyone has ever asked him to do. Has just, and I don't want to say flown under the radar, but I don't think that people look at Frankie as, you know, in that elite class of pro wrestlers. They looked at him as really, really good. Well, now he's finally got his world championship. And I'll be honest with you, you can talk about the circumstances, but you got to be happy for Frankie Kazarian finally winning a world championship.
Yeah, definitely a TNA lifer. You know, he's been there, been gone, come back, been gone, come back. And, you know, he's a guy that can truly handle the mic. He's a guy that will give you great matches, and who knows what's in store with this NXT invasion. So I might be on the other side of the fence here. I know a lot of people are perturbed or angry about this Santana change, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Frankie can do with that title belt.
I'm excited about it. But at the same time, I do wonder what is coming that they decided to make this decision, because Santana is a great story himself, having wrestled in tag teams for so long and all the personal issues that he had to overcome. And now all of a sudden, after just winning this championship at the biggest card in TNA, is out the door again. Now, he did show up at Turning Point and, won a tag match there, but I'm happy for Frankie. I'm hurt for Santana, and I'm trying to play this out and see where it goes and give TNA a chance on this. But I can tell you that a lot of reaction on social media was really bad. It was, oh, there goes TNA again. How do you feel about it from the other side for Santana on this?
Well, for Santana, I think he'll be in WWE very soon. And I think his career is going to even blossom even more. I mean, Tommy Dreamer is an OG when it comes to booking, when it comes to professional wrestling. He would not be pulling a move like this, in my opinion, if there was not a sense that Santana was going to be making the jump to WWE. They just lost Joe Hendry this week, and WWE was gracious enough to at least buy out his contract. That's new for them. So there has to be something in the wind. Either they've been told this, Santana was forthcoming and let him know what was going on, because this has never been done in wrestling before, not to have a title defense, let alone not even have a moment where you are crowned the champ on the first live show you're back on. So did it sound extreme? Yeah, it's on paper and on film, it looks extremely odd, but there has to be something working in the background that would have caused them to make this move so abruptly.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we just have to let this roll out and see what happens. And, but this is the thing about, like Coach said, you mentioned Joe Hendry is now under contract with WWE. Santana, from what I was told, his contract's going to be up at the end of the year. So he may be with WWE as well. But to a point, Coach, with the cooperation between WWE and TNA, even if you're under contract at WWE, aren't you pretty much on loan whenever? So you're kind of still in TNA. And it went this other way too with Wesley this week. Wesley is now back with the Rascals, and but he got let go from NXT. He's with TNA, but TNA works with NXT. Huh? It doesn't matter. Honestly, Coach, does it really matter?
Well, financially, I think it will matter if he signs a WWE contract as opposed to a TNA contract. I mean, Santana decided when he left AEW to bet on himself, and he did, and he was highly successful. And now, from the looks of it, that bet is going to pay off in a WWE contract, which is a childhood dream of most wrestlers when they're kids. They want to fight in the WWE. They want to come down the ramp at the Royal Rumble. They want to have a chance to be at WrestleMania. And that Joe Hendry Vegas Randy Orton thing was a 1 in a million thing for him. But for the most part, most guys have to earn their keep in WWE and get that WrestleMania moment for themselves. And I think Santana is going to continue to bet on himself, and we'll see what happens. And I think WWE is missing some singles competitors that can really push Cody, that could push, the Intercontinental title when it gets switched over from John. And Santana fits that bill. He's a singles guy right now. He's tough in the ring. He has a good move set. He has a rags to riches story that the WWE can produce into something glorious. And I think that's what he wants to do. Obviously, this is just speculation, but I know if I had the opportunity to go to WWE and my contract was up, I think I would be heading over there as opposed to, and I love TNA. I'm all about TNA, but He fought at Turning Point in front of like 500 people.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in WWE, even though the crowds have been a little bit smaller, you have the opportunity to be in stadium shows. You have the opportunity to go to Saudi. You have the opportunity to go all over this world. And you have an opportunity to truly change the financial freedom for your family.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Santana is headed to WWE. You know, where is he going to fit in? Because we just saw Santos Escobar pull this big push, and we got Dominic Mysterio and some other Latin guys already there. And a lot of times I think that WWE doesn't treat its luchadors very well either. Penta's kind of hanging around high mid card. Who knows what's going on with Ray Phoenix right now? So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with the coach. I don't know if I'm necessarily sold on if this would be the right time for him to go to WWE, but I suppose when somebody knocks on the door, you open it up and take it.
Right. I mean, I can see what you're saying with the luchador aspect of it, but I don't see Santana as a luchador, and I don't see Dom as a luchador. And even though they haven't been kind of booking the luchadors correctly, or, what other people think that they should be getting their run, they have been producing Dom right. And I think they're going to be producing Santana right, because he isn't that flippy, floppy luchador style. He's a hard hitting guy that does lean into his culture, but doesn't have to. He can let, his wrestling ability show what he has instead of trying to just be a spot guy.
Yeah. So the future should be entertaining for Santana, whether it's in TNA or WWE. And, we did mention the return of Wesley. He's back under his name of Desmond Xavier and back with the Rascals. They're all reunited. The kids are happy after last night. So good for them. Full Rascal complement showing up last night at TNA Turning Point. But then otherwise, like I said, pretty standard card, good event. One guy I want to mention real quick before we move on and talk more WWE. Jake something opened that card up last night, and he wrestled the hometown man of Mance Warner. And I got to tell you, Coach, I've interviewed Jake, great guy, just an absolute powerhouse. And I wonder what the future holds for him, because I get really surprised that he hasn't been advanced as much as he has. What do you see in Jake something?
I see a tremendous physique with not a lot of mic work, and that's no fault of his. Maybe he hasn't been given the opportunity to truly create a verbal storyline for himself. But if you're looking for a bruiser, he's that type of guy. But in wrestling today, you need to be able to handle the mic. And for one reason or another, he hasn't been able to spotlight that. Mance Warner can hold the mic. He creates great storylines, but he doesn't have that physique and size that Jake has. So we'll see what happens with him, but he's definitely a bruiser. He's somebody that TNA really doesn't have, that big mammoth guy that is huge in the ring, that when you see him in an airport, you think, damn, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Now you just put a little mic work together with him. He can be good.
Yeah. I mean, he's up there in the Claudio Castagnoli strength class, and just an impressive guy. So I do hope things start turning up for him a little bit. All right. We are going to take a break. And when we return, we have a new Intercontinental Champion. We've got new women's tag team champions. We've got a new speed champion. And woo. Oh, my God.
You know it.
Stick around, everybody. More to come on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Actually, you can see me. If you hop on our live stream right now, we'd love to have you join us there. So if you're listening on KDAWN 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, or on that amazing Odyssey app, the greatest radio and podcast app on the planet, AUDACY. Pick that up, and you know what? Your wife is going to be as happy as Coach Rosey's, I promise. So get that app. You can listen to my show. You can listen to all the shows on KDAWN, and from 220 stations in the Odyssey universe, plus so many more podcasts. It is unreal. Go get it right now, AUDACY. Or if you want to join us in the live stream right now as well, we'd love to have you and hear from you. Make your comments. Go to Mark Hoke Show on X or The Mark Hoke Show on YouTube and Facebook, and hop on in and say hi to us. We've got Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows along for the ride with me. Coach, more championship changes in WWE. We have a new U.S. champ, Chelsea Green. We have new women's tag team champions in the Kabuki Warriors. We have a new men's speed champion, as that has been filled by Jasper Troy. We have coming up, the women's speed championship is going to be filled. That is vacant. That'll be determined later on this week. And John Cena the big one, has won the Intercontinental Championship. We'll focus on that first and then go to the bigger picture. But John Cena gets challenged by Dominic Mysterio, and Cena walks out with the Intercontinental Championship. He is now a Grand Slam champion. And your reaction to him taking out Dominic? Right move, wrong move?
Right move. I mean, you give the OG, the legend, you give who many feel is one of the GOATs of professional wrestling, his curtain call. You know, knowing John, he's going to do the right thing and lose in his final match. So why not along the way, especially in Boston that got screwed out of his last match?
Very true.
Give those faithful Boston fans a memory that they will never forget. That match wasn't a Monday Night Raw style match. That match was like going to a house show where you see them kind of break kayfabe with the whole winking thing, with saying I'm invincible. You know, they got to see a match that is going to go down in the annals of Boston history for especially for John, but also for those fans that have been there for him so long. And to do it in his hometown in front of his entire family, his father, all his friends, his wife, that's something that you cannot give somebody that hasn't done what John Cena has done for WWE. Not only was he the bridge between the Attitude Era and the PG era, he helped channel in the most amount of Make-A-Wish opportunities for the kids. He led merch sales for years, but that Intercontinental Championship has been eluding him. And for him to be able to go out as a Grand Slam champ is amazing for a true wrestling fan. For someone that wants to pick it apart and say, you know, Dom this or this and that, he doesn't deserve it. Bull crap. What John Cena has done for professional wrestling supersedes anybody's opinion when it comes to wrestling.
Agreed. By the way, in the chat box, Javon Campbell, 8357, good friend of the show, says Ron Cena is very proud of his childhood hero and big brother, the Grand Slam champ, John Cena. We are too. And I think it was awesome. And you know, Coach, that I've been saying for a while, I thought that Dom should have been the last match, but I have a little theory I'm going to throw out, and just an idea. I was right on this one. I don't know if I can be totally right on this new idea, because I want to evolve this a little bit. We've got one more Raw. We got one more Raw coming up next week. John Cena will be there. Do you remember at the end of when they were wrapping the match up and everybody was celebrating in the back, who is the person that was celebrating the most with John? Remember who that pint-sized champ was?
Who, Ray?
That Rey Mysterio. He was pumped, man. He was excited.
Taught his son a lesson.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be fun this week if there's a rematch? And Rey said, you know what, John, I want to make sure Dominic doesn't get this title back. I'm going to go out there with you. May I join you? Can I have the honor? And he says, yeah, sure, Rey. We're pals. And they go out, and all the time Rey was thinking about what happened years ago when John screwed him out of that WWE championship. You remember that whole thing where he won the tournament, and then the same night Cena challenged him and took it away? Rey Mysterio screws over John Cena to help Dom regain the Intercontinental title. And in San Diego at Survivor Series, you get Rey Mysterio Jr. as a heel against John Cena. Not bad. Not bad.
Good. Yeah, no, that's good. I just, I don't know if Rey's healthy enough to put in that type of match, but it is intriguing what you're thinking.
I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense for one of the Mysterios to be facing John in San Diego. It's perfect, you know? But boy, if you got John to have one more match with Rey like that, Petco's sold out. Petco is sold out, guaranteed. You have no problem selling tickets if you get Cena, Rey Mysterio Jr. one more time. So I'm just throwing it out there, WWE. I'm sure you guys may have discussed this already, because if I thought of it, you thought of it.
You definitely have Mark's email. I know that.
Yeah, just let me know. Let me know. You know, if I think that would be fun. But either way, I think it should be a Mysterio facing John at Survivor Series. We'll see what happens coming up here on Raw on Monday. But the time is the last time is now tournament is going on. We don't have a bracket, by the way, in case you didn't notice that. There is no bracket, but you know, we're still doing the thing. And right now, here's where that tournament is. So we have had 4 of the first 8 first round matches. And bear with me, my graphics shifted there. Thank you. Rusev has defeated Damian Priest. Sheamus knocked off Shinsuke Nakamura. Jey Uso beat The Miz. And LA Knight knocked off Zack Ryder. And yes, fans, if you think I am babbling and have lost my mind, I have not. Woo, woo, woo. Back in the house as Matt Cardona shows up and faces off with LA Knight. He does lose. But, Coach, there's been some interesting reaction to these first 4 anyway. One, people are so mad that Jey Uso beat The Miz. It's not even funny. And then, of course, the return of Matt Cardona to WWE. First, let's talk a little bit about Zack Ryder. Did you like that he came back as Zack Ryder?
Yeah. I mean, he's all about the money. And not only did he get a payday for doing a one-off, but they gave him a line of merch.
Yeah, could you believe that?
Zach, with Cardona, Zach, whatever you want to call him, he doesn't care what you call him as long as he keeps getting that money.
Right, and exactly.
He's a walking ATM. Wherever he goes, he's got his merch table out there. And now he doesn't even have to put his merch table out. WWE's putting the merch table out there for him. You know, I'm pretty proud of WWE for giving the fans a lot of nostalgic moments throughout this John Cena run, whether it's been things that he said or little callbacks or bringing guys back like Zack Ryder. They've made amends for their faux pas when it came to the storyline of him being a heel.
Yeah. They've done a pretty good job with this. Miz losing to Jey Uso. And people are just, and I tell you what, Jey Uso somehow has gone from darling to please go away now, which is unbelievable to me. But should the Miz have gone over in this match? I'll be honest with you. I think so. I think the Miz should have won this. You know, even if it was, by some sort of shenanigans and hijinks, I think it would have been fun to have Miz at least get through the first round of this tournament, given their history.
Well, considering your name, you're matching it by being a mark, by thinking that The Miz should have won against Jey Uso. Why would you kill all the momentum, whether you think he has a lot or not, of Jey by losing to a comedic wrestler like The Miz? The Miz was out there for the pop. The Miz was out there for the nostalgia. You know, if that's the case, then you should have let Zack Ryder beat LA Knight, because LA Knight doesn't have a storyline, strong one going like Jey Uso has had. I mean, he just fought for the world championship. Imagine losing to CM Punk from the world championship, and then a week or two later losing to this hack, The Miz. I mean, people.
Wow, hack.
Yeah.
Wow.
When it comes to current storylines,
Oh.
The Miz is not where it's at. The Miz is great for PR. The Miz is phenomenal. The Miz will be a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, you know. But we don't need to relive the WrestleMania match where he beat John Cena. But just by him coming out, they did relive it, whether he won or not. It wasn't about him getting a win over Jey, because he wouldn't have made it all the way to the finals. So instead, just give Miz his moment. It was a great match. He got in all his moves. People had a good time with the nostalgia aspect of it. But you could have a rematch with Jey and Gunther. You know, I don't know. Like you said, there's no bracket. But if Gunther can get past Javon, which I think he will, he might go up against Jey again. And that will just take us right back to WrestleMania. And Gunther can get his comeback against Jey. And then that's a distinguishable loss instead of losing to The Miz.
Yeah, in the chat box, Bionic Scoop, by the way, we got to say hi to Scoop. Zach has history with Cena. Matt doesn't. It was cool. Totally agree.
Thanks, Scoop.
And Javon Campbell, Matt Cardona is just running from Killer Cross and Shotzi in the Indies. That's great. That's great. Oh, I like this Javon guy. He's pretty cool. And you mentioned one of the matches coming up in the, I don't know if we can say the other side of the bracket, but it is Gunther against Javon Evans. Solo Sikoa is in a match with a mystery opponent. They have still not announced who that last person is. Bronson Reed gets Carmelo Hayes. And, oh, man, Carmelo's, I hate seeing Carmelo lose. And Penta and Finn Balor are the remaining matches. So we don't know who's going to be wrestling who as this goes along. But that is the last time is now tournament matches so far. Now, we also had a bunch of other title changes, Coach, and I kind of counted up. We have had 13 of the 23 WWE championships change hands since September 20th when Stephanie McCare won the women's championship. Now, we did have a couple of those due to injury, but Coach, this is a lot of title changes. A lot. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts about whether you think that this is because the ratings have been slipping and they felt like they needed to make some wholesale changes, or are they just trying to go viral and maybe doing some lazy storytelling and trying to get some title changes to get people's attention? What do you think the reason for this is? Because I can't remember this many titles changing hands within such a short span. I mean, this Coach is 2 months and 13 championships.
I think it's a mix of everything. This is the slowest season in wrestling, with the Christmas season and, a little lull. Survivor Series isn't considered one of the top PLEs anymore. Is they do need some more eyes on the product. Ticket sales have been going lower. And the people that they're giving the titles to are internet darlings, can cut promos, can make TikTok videos, and can bring more eyes on the product. I mean, Chelsea, phenomenal. Kabuki's phenomenal. Asuka, her online game is on point.
Oh, she's been amazing, hasn't she?
Yeah. And with the Speed Championship, El Grande Americano, he doesn't need it, but give a push to this young, big, strong stud that they have down in NXT. I think he was in that LFG television.
Yeah, Jasper Troy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so
Yeah, so he's the speed champ now. So
yeah, so he's going to be given a push, and when it comes to the ladies, it's going to advance the NXT storylines. So, does it seem obscure to someone in the internet wrestling community? Obviously, because we're not used to this. But for somebody that is maybe a new fan or somebody that's on the periphery, what it does is it creates a lot of excitement and makes it so you don't want to miss Raw or SmackDown because you don't want to miss it live. You don't want to catch it secondhand. You want to see it firsthand. So I think it kills a lot of birds with just one stone.
yeah, the one thing is though that I think that I've learned over the years watching pro wrestling is that title changes, while they get very brief attention, are not a long-term solution if you're having booking issues. Can a title change help at certain points? Yes. Maybe you need to change your world champion, or someone's getting hot, but that many title changes, coach, just seems really, I don't know. It seems like a little bit of a booking cop out to me, but they have, if you look at who they've put up, I mean, it's a pretty fascinating list. I mean, CM Punk, won the world championship, but that was because Rollins
that had
got
to
hurt.
happen with the injury.
Bakara got her title. That was from Naomi getting pregnant. We have the Cena title change, and that's going to change back here within the next few weeks. Becky Lynch has held on, but just since June. We got new tag champs with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee on Raw. Cody Rhodes has managed to get through this, and that's probably the one title I think a lot of people would like to have seen. If you're going to do a flip flop, that would have been the one that I would have expected. Jade Cargo wins the women's championship, so now she's up there. Ilya Dragunov, guy that everybody's has been excited about for a long time. Chelsea Green's back. The Wide Six have their tag titles. Kabuki Warriors have the women's titles, and then even in NXT, Ricky Saints wins the NXT championship and gets it off Obafemi, which I would imagine is going to result in a move up to the main roster for Femi. Tatum Paxley, that title's changed hands a couple times. Ethan Page has survived this, which is amazing. That's only been since May. And then Blake Monroe won the North American title. We still got Stax Lorenzo with the Heritage Cup. Dark State, the NXT tag titles, that's changed hands with the Hardys. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, coach.
But I don't think the titles really mean that much anymore. At least they don't mean very much to me, except for the World Championship, even the Tag Team Championships in WWE. If you ask 10 people who the Tag Team Champs are in WWE for the men and the women, I bet you at least 70% of them wouldn't have a clue, even if they were longtime wrestling fans.
See, but isn't that a problem? Isn't that a problem?
It should be, but I think that's just the progression of the business that we're in right now. When it comes to the attention span of fans, it isn't very high, so the title reign we had for Roman over 1,000 days or however many days it was, that's not going to happen anymore. Long-term storytelling, our fans don't have the attention span to truly stick with it. I mean, the internet wrestling community might make up 10 to 20% of all fans. The other 80% are just there maybe this week, maybe that week, and to see the flip-flopping. Maybe they've done market research studies or for one reason or another, but, they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't have some type of idea, especially with the way they are now about the money. Because they really wanted to do it in the old way of long-term storytelling with champions for a long time, that might hurt the bottom line. But they've chosen to go this route, and 3 or 4 years down the line, we'll be here to critique it to see if it worked or not.
Yeah, I will say this, though, that you can have a long-time champion if you're telling the story the right way. With Roman Reigns in the bloodline, while it wasn't completely perfect, that's one of the best long-term stories in the history of the industry.
I agree.
And keeping Roman on top worked out because the storytelling was great. The people got behind Roman. They enjoyed watching him, and it was must-see TV. I mean, right now it's not must-see TV for me. I mean, I would go home and want to watch Raw. I'd want to go home and watch SmackDown and see what the heck is going on with this bloodline story, because it just got better and better as it went. If you do it right, it works. And same thing with a guy like, you go back with a Ric Flair, the chase to get Ric Flair all those years, Coach, was just unbelievable, but they told great stories. And if you do it right, it'll work. But you got to have the right person on top, and you got to have the right people in that creative room, or else it just goes kablooey. Like kind of Cody right now is kind of, it's okay, but it's not captivating.
Well, like we said, 2025 is not going to go down in the annals of wrestling history as a great year for stories. Wrestling is cyclical, and I'm hoping that 2026 in all wrestling, TV wrestling, improves. I mean, the indies, they're booming. Maybe that's because the storylines aren't so great on television. So kudos to those indie guys out there that are making the towns, that are still making the drives, and that are still trying to make their dreams come true.
Yeah, it's fun to see a lot of the indies are interweaving their stories with certain people coming in and out of there, with guys like Matt Cardona and Killer Cross, and another lady that eventually we're going to get to talk about, who just nice. That's who it is.
Won it again last night, her 14th title.
Yep. All right. Well, we are going to get to her in a little bit. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll probably get to Mercedes on that. Someone's driving away with another championship. That trunk is loaded. And I mean the car trunk, not the junk in the trunk. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around.
eBay.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas. And before we talk about a certain young lady who has got a massive amount of championships right now, do want to remind you that if open enrollment is still going on for your health insurance, and if you need it, well, my guy Pat Casal's got you covered from the Multicare Group. I need you to call him and text him right now, 702-286-1014. Health insurance plans, life insurance plans. He can also help your company if you need benefit packages set up or anything along those lines. He's a good friend of mine, and I work with him, and you should too. He can help anyone out, any state. Just give him a buzz, man. It's
send him my number because I'm about to retire from teaching. I need some insurance advice, so please text me his number.
Okay, I'll do that. Pat Casal, 702-286-1014 from the Multicare Group. And I promise you, he's going to take great care of you. Dental plans, too, by the way. That's important. So you guys that are wrestling out there and you don't have health insurance, no excuse. Call Pat Casal right now. All right. Mercedes Moné has picked up her 13th championship, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. She won the 8-pack championship at the House of Glory show this weekend. And here's the list. Coach, are you ready? Here we go.
Ready. Bring it on.
Here we go. She is the TBS champ, the CMLL Women's World Champion, the Rev Pro British Women's Champion, the Queen of Southside Champion, the Owen Hart Cup Champion, the EWA Women's Champion, the Primetime Wrestling Women's Champion, the Bestia Wrestling Women's Champion, the Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Champion, the Body Slam Women's Champion, the Ring of Honor Interim Women's World Champion, and she's facing off with Athena to for that settle that, or Queen Amina, I believe, to settle that. The Winnipeg Pro Women's Championship, and now the APAC Women's Champion, 13 titles. She will be going for number 14 at AEW Full Gear, and it's going to be interesting to see if she actually beats Chris Statlander. But Coach, the championships aside, the effect that Mercedes Moné is having on the independent circuit right now is awesome. I mean, people are turning out like crazy to see her. It's interesting how they're going to handle booking somebody with 13 championships to, because eventually she's got to lose them. But what a year for her. And by the way, just for fun, she was named number 1 on the PWI 252. Wow.
I agree. I mean, this has been a great long-term story because what comes up must come crashing down. So for all the Mercedes haters out there, that how can they let them have 13 titles? First of all, she's packing every indie house in the world. So for an indie to have somebody of Mercedes Moné quality as their champ, they're going to keep doing that. So if there's another 4 or 5 indies that want to give her a call, she'll probably come out and win those championships as well because she's packing the house. But when it comes to Full Gear this week, I think you're going to start to see the beginning of the end of Mercedes Moné because Chris Statlander, in my opinion, will beat her. I might not agree with it, but I know that being a day one AEW person like Chris Statlander is for the women, they're not going to flip-flop the titles that quick from her in AEW, which might cause an avalanche of despair for Mercedes and then a multitude of losses in a row that's going to take her down further down than they did. What's his name? That old gambler.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah, Baron Corbin. She's going to be the female version of Baron Corbin in AEW, and it'll be hilarious to watch.
I totally agree with you. And that's what we've been talking with our other co-hosts, Stu Myrick and Phil Stamper, about this. And I'm not so excited about the rise. I'm excited about the fall. The fall from grace from all this is going to be a sight to see. And you know that Mercedes over the years is very, very good at flipping out and playing that kind of a character. Oh my God. This is going to be a crash beyond crashes when she starts losing. Will it happen this weekend that the losing starts? I don't know. I'm a little torn on this.
Do they have the odds up already? I'm interested to see what the odds are.
They do have those odds up on betonline.ag. And if you go to markhokeshow.com and sign up today with the code BOL, just click on that banner. You can get a 50% matching bonus up to $1,000. Chris Statlander is minus 300. Mercedes money is a plus 200. So they do have Chris winning the match. I don't know, Coach, though. I might disagree with you. I think they might give Mercedes that one more push, and then maybe Toni Storm comes back on her, and then all hell breaks loose. So I am going to be curious to see how this all turns out. I think it's going to be pretty wild. By the way, Javon Campbell, 8357 in the chat box, HOG Champ Monet. I hope the plan is for Mercedes to start getting bad luck from Harley Cameron's puppet like a voodoo doll once she starts dropping titles. But the last part of this is fun. Bring Shotzi and Scarlett to AEW. That will happen eventually. But wouldn't it be fun if, because we're seeing these women go all over the place along with Cross and Matt, wouldn't it be fun to see Shotzi and Scarlett start chasing Mercedes down across the indies? I mean, yeah. if Tony's thinking on this, Tony decides that he's going to sign those two, but let them terrorize her on the indies first. That would be fun. That would be fun.
I would definitely be all for that. And I don't think the two of them would make a boneheaded decision like Tegan Knox did in AEW. But Shotzi and Scarlett are buying their time, sitting in the wings and ready to explode when ready.
Yes, absolutely. Coach, I know you wanted to go for a Saturday. You have a couple more minutes you can stay, or you got to get out of here?
I promised for a family engagement for the second hour that I cannot miss. So.
All right, fair enough. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Of course, you can catch up with Coach and all the gang over at adfreeshows.com. They are amazing. And you can follow them at Real Coach Rosey on X. Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Always. See you guys next week.
All right. We will be back with a whole lot more. We're going to get into that story with, do you turn down a gig when you don't have a contract? Oy. And Vegas shelled out some money apparently to get this WrestleMania. More than last year. We're going to get into that and a whole lot more. So stick around, everybody. Hour 2 of the Mark Hoke Show is coming up.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Alan Stock, inviting you to join me next year, October 9th, 2026, as we celebrate America's heritage and 250th anniversary with Colette. We'll explore the history of America in Monticello, Mount Vernon, and Colonial Williamsburg. We'll visit Washington, D.C.'s world-famous memorials and monuments, including Arlington National Cemetery. Plus, enjoy the timeless elegance and heritage as we stay 2 nights at America's resort, the Greenbrier. This and so much more. Colette covers the details, flights, hotels, meals, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss your chance to celebrate with me. And to learn more, visit KXNT.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942. That's 800-581-8942 or KXNT.com.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
At At no cost to you, the Weatherization Assistance Program at HELP of Southern Nevada can reduce utility costs for low-income families by improving the energy efficiency of their homes. After an energy audit of your home, weatherization measures may be installed at no cost, including solar screens, weather stripping and caulking, new insulation, low-flow shower heads, energy-efficient light bulbs, and repairing or replacing broken windows, doors, hot water heaters, air conditioning units, and refrigerators. A healthier, more energy-efficient home has lower power bills, and these weatherization services are at no cost to you. To find out if you qualify, call 702-795-0575. That's 702-795-0575. HELP of Southern Nevada Weatherization Program. 702
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Oh, yeah, let's keep it rolling. Hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Man, we just bring you the heat every week, digging a little deeper into the topics of what's happening in the world of pro wrestling and crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff. John Cena wins the Intercontinental Championship this week. A bunch of other titles changed hands in WWE. Mike Santana loses the TNA World Championship. Are you kidding me? And people are torn on that one, but mostly internet community not happy about it. But happened on the Impact show on Thursday and just in front of a few hundred people after all that. So Mike Santana no longer TNA champ, but big congrats to Frankie Kazarian, 27-year veteran, winning the TNA World Championship, his first singles world title, and quite well deserved. One of the great workhorses in the industry, and big congrats to him for bringing home that championship. Before we get into some of the other news, I do want to mention, unfortunately, the pro wrestling world today lost. And it's very sad when I start to think about it. Just one of the voices of my childhood in pro wrestling, Bob Caudle, has passed away. We lost Bob, passed away in his sleep at the age of 95. And, of course, the voice of Jim Crockett Promotions, just really let everybody kind of stand out. Didn't try to steal the spotlight or be one of those guys that was going to be, look at me. It was look at Ric Flair, look at Arn Anderson, look at Magnum TA, look at Sting. That his announcing style was fantastic too, and the pro wrestling industry really lost somebody special today. So I want to send our condolences out to the family and the thousands and thousands of friends of Bob Caudle. Passes away at the age of 95. So rest in peace, Bob. We'll miss you. And if you haven't seen Bob Caudle do announcing, go back and watch some of the Jim Crockett stuff. He was so much fun. Just so much fun. All right. So we are, looking at what's happened with John Cena. And we have the Last Time Is Now tournament going on. We've got the final appearance on Monday Night Raw coming up this week. And if you hear me in the last hour talking about how I think that he should lose the title back to Dominic Mysterio there and maybe have Rey turn on him as well and give us Rey Mysterio Jr. and John Cena one more time at Survivor Series, which would be amazing. But I think one thing that's going to be interesting for WWE moving on is John has really captivated the attention of the pro wrestling community here over the past 6 months, especially now that he switched back from the heel turn. I mean, you got the momentary bump from it, but after the disaster that happened at WrestleMania, John comes back to the good side. They just flip the switch and bring back shiny, happy John Cena. But that has really been the major attraction for WWE. And it's kind of unfortunate when you think about it. We were talking about all the new champions that are in WWE right now. And, even Cody's struggling a little bit to get footing. CM Punk is a new world champion, but no offense. I used to be a big CM Punk guy, not so much anymore. But you're putting the ball in the hands of a 46-ish-year-old guy, and Cody has really not been booked well. I don't blame Cody one bit. But clearly, WWE is looking at their list of champions and what they're trying to do and getting attention, and the ticket sales falling, the ratings falling, and they know they've got to do something about it. But it starts on top. You got to get Cody going, and you got to figure out, okay, what's going to be the right way to use CM Punk? Are we just going to have him messing around with Bronson Reed? And no, I don't know. But there's definitely some changes that need to be made. But how much of a hit do you guys out there think that John Cena leaving here after Survivor Series or after the Saturday Night's Main Event in December, is it going to really take the wind out of their sails? Look, WWE has been doing some things, some questionable booking, the massive raising of ticket prices, and just, the real attitude of, look, we're WWE and, you're you, we don't care. And I don't think it's necessarily the case that they don't care about the fans, but they are putting themselves in a position where they're making everybody feel that way. That's not good. So when John's gone, where are they really? And what are they sitting on? Look, you just put the women's belt on Jade Cargill. But, can Jade carry things the way, say, Rhea Ripley did? I don't know. I like Jade, and I think when she's used properly, she's fantastic. Stephanie Vaquer, are you going to go buy your SmackDown and Raw tickets to go see Stephanie Vaquer? Yeah. And Punk's wearing off. You're going to have AJ Styles doing a retirement tour next year. But does that carry the same weight as John Cena? With WWE fans, not quite. It's still going to be fun. Don't get me wrong, but you just feel like something's not right there, and it's hard to put a finger on it. Is it just that the stories aren't quite around? Has it been this new attitude from TKO? I don't know. It's kind of it's not like they're struggling for money. They just had another record profit quarter, but that's only going to last so long. And a lot of people are complaining, well, that all their stars are over 40. And I will agree with that to a point, because I think AEW has done a better job of positioning their younger talent. You see a lot of guys like, Powerhouse Hobbs just had that great match on Dynamite with Hangman Adam Page for the World Championship. They've got guys like that all over the place. Whereas, can you really say that with WWE? The guy that I thought they'd be strapping the rocket to, Carmelo Hayes. What are they doing with him? What are you doing with him? He's going to be in the Last Time Is Now tournament, but he's probably going to lose. It's a strange feel to WWE right now, and they certainly ran into this back in the 90s. And especially when Hogan and Savage and all those guys were getting a little older and they left, and WWE was looking around like, okay, what do we do here? But eventually that turned into Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Diesel, which then, and The Rock, Stone Cold. So things tend to go cyclically, but I think they're on kind of a weird cycle right now. And like I said, mentioned that Last Time Is Now tournament, the first round, we're halfway through it. And if you haven't seen what's going on there, Rusev beat Damian Priest, Sheamus beat Shinsuke Nakamura, Jey Uso beat The Miz, much to the fans' dismay. LA Knight beat Zack Ryder, a returning Matt Cardona. And then the other half, we can't even say other half of the bracket because there's no bracket. There's no bracket. Gunther versus Javon Evans, that great young superstar that they've got coming up from NXT. Solo Sikoa, opponent to be named later. I'm going to be really curious to see how that is. If Joe Hendry steps in there, but I don't know. I think you got to find somebody. If whoever's in that spot, I hope it's somebody that was very, very well connected to John Cena instead of just a name. Bronson Reed gets Carmelo Hayes, and unfortunately, it's going to be it could be a short turnaround for Carmelo. I wish it wouldn't be. Carmelo getting the rub from being John's last match wouldn't be bad. But I don't know if that's going to captivate everybody for the Saturday night's main event show, which is going to be on Peacock. Why? NBC, can I ask you guys a question, by the way? You've got a John Cena retirement match that there were 60,000 people in the ticket queue. And you can't leave Saturday night's main event on there one more time? Really? Oh. Why is it that I feel like sometimes in pro wrestling that I'm one of the few people that has a business sense? I guess because maybe I ran businesses and run my own. I don't know. And Penta and Finn Balor there too, because there's a heavy connection with Penta and Finn Balor and John Cena. I'm very mixed on this, and of course the rumor was that it was going to be Gunther all the way on that. And I don't get why Gunther would need that push. I mean, right now I'd like to see Gunther go out and rip CM Punk apart and go on a 1.5 year tear as world champ. Again, I think it'd be fantastic. But what do I know? You only have an international star there who can do just about anything he wants in the ring. But okay. But yeah, it will be fascinating to see where the future is going to lie for WWE as once this whole thing with John Cena wraps up. And it's a nice lead into the road to WrestleMania. We'll be getting ready for the Rumble. Maybe Chris Jericho's coming back. Those rumors are getting stronger and stronger. But what are you excited about? If you're in the chat box right now, what are you excited about after this is over with John? Love to hear from you. And if you want to get in that chat box and join the live stream, it's on X at Mark Hoke Show and on Facebook and YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. I want to swing it over a little bit to AEW. Some pretty interesting stuff going on there. Man, AEW Blood and Guts. Did you see that? Oh, man, too. Look, they are what they are. You know that there's going to be some spots that are going to make you cringe a little bit of blood. No, but those matches were fun. Come on. And I got to tell you, the ladies did a fantastic job. Fantastic. Man, I want to buy stock in Marina Shafir so bad right now. She looked great. Not that the other women didn't do a terrific job, because they did, like Sky Blue. Oh, man. Geez, that girl's scary. She's scary. But Marina Shafir just came off as this, I won't say invincible, because she did take some pretty rough spots in the match. But that woman has gotten her aura on point. Great job by Marina Shafir in that match. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. The Bad Girls won the first match. And the men's side, though, we get a John Moxley's a submission to Kyle O'Reilly. So, wow. Kyle O'Reilly all of a sudden has been torturing John Moxley well. Good for him. And Mox gets on Collision and says, so what? We lost. Who cares? I don't care. Because I've lost 1 million matches and won 1 million matches. It's okay. That's the way, John. You do you. Gotta love Mox. Just gotta love that guy. He is going to end up, I think he will end up being one of the most underrated guys in terms of what he's done backstage and helping mentor, because he does an unbelievable job helping these guys out. And by the way, Javon Campbell, E357 chat box says Blood and Guts women's match was a banger and gave Tony Storm a new rivalry in the process. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And one thing, and I'll backtrack to that a little bit. One thing that Blood and Guts match did was it set up a lot of these matches in the AEW women's tag team tournament. And I'm loving it. The one thing that WWE is once again doing, but maybe this is going to change with this feud with the Kabuki Warriors and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Really, there hasn't been a rivalry for them. Have there been matches? Yes. But a true rivalry? Not really. But the way Asuka is performing, and it's just being this obnoxious, she's like that assassin that's in a video game, that sniper that is just driving you nuts. Like, do you ever play the James Bond game and there was that one person you'd be playing with that would find that little perch and you'd just be walking around and you can't find them, all of a sudden, bang, you're dead. And you come back and you're still trying to find that person, bang, and you're dead again. That's what Asuka is doing right now. She is a deadly assassin in WWE. And I hope that those tag titles, that ends up being a good rivalry. You think of tag team feuds like, go old school, like the Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express. We need that. But these women's tag teams in AEW, boy, Tony is doing a great job setting this up. And I hope that when it's all over, and I don't, like I said, I've said before, I don't know who's going to win this thing, because I really thought coming into this, there were probably 7 of the 8 teams that could win the tournament. I hope that when it's over, that whoever gets to the finals keeps fighting. I don't want it to be one of those tournaments where, okay, we have the tournament as champ, and then everything else is forgotten. I don't think everything else is going to be forgotten from this tag team tournament. There are people that are not happy with each other, and especially after that Blood and Guts match on Wednesday night. Get ready. And by the way, I feel so bad for Penelope Ford. Of course, she got hurt, and she was Megan Bain's partner, and Marina Shafir stepped in, and all of a sudden, everybody's looking like, and Penelope's great. She, to me, is one of the most underrated female performers in the industry. But this team of Megan Bain and Marina Shafir, God, I wouldn't want to fight them. No, sir. But I got to tell you, there's going to be no love lost between them and Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. And of course, they were torturing Mina and holding Tony Storm so that Tony had to watch, and Tony surrendered, which is how they lost the match. Tony, the AEW women, I just feel like find a way to be more intense. And you saw it with 12 great ladies just pouring their hearts out on Wednesday night. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But yeah, so Mercedes Moné, 13 titles, and she's going to be going after Chris Statlander next Saturday, or this coming Saturday. That should be a lot of fun. And we're going to get into what is happening at Full Gear and some other little interesting tidbits as we go along, including 2 women at AEW that, well, they weren't really with AEW, but I don't think they're going to be with AEW anytime soon. Tony don't play that way. Stick around. We got a whole lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook and YouTube at the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Raider Nation.
FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yeah, let's keep this thing rolling. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show. I'm without my dear friends Phil Stamper, Stu Myrick, and Coach Rosey. Had to get rolling. Phil, get better, buddy. We don't like it when you're sick like I was. And once again, I apologize for last week. First time I ever canceled a show, but I was unconscious, guys. It was bad. I got sick at work and I started driving home and nearly lost consciousness twice getting back. So it was pretty bad, but appreciate you all sticking with me. And we're back in action this week, all peppy and happy. But I can tell you two people that might not be so darn peppy and happy after the week that they had are Nixon Newell and Miranda Lies. Just this is, to me, all right, I'll tell the story and then I'll give my opinion. So last week, they decided that after they had already lost a quick match to Marina Shafir and Megan Bain, and apparently there were some issues in that match, they were scheduled to wrestle, ended up wrestling, set up to wrestle TJ on Collision, and were told that they were given 3 minutes to do the match. And they said, that don't work for me, brother. And walked out. And there are plenty of stories about their explanations on this, why they did it. Just didn't think it was going to be good for anybody. Da. Well, let me put this out to you. And by the way, Nixon Newell was formerly known as Tegan Knox in WWE, in case you didn't know that. When you are not in the company and you are asked to do something to try and get you a contract in a new company, do you know what you do? It's pretty simple. I mean, we're asked to do a job. We do the job. And if that job is to go out and get beat up for 3 minutes, again, too bad. You know, I'll say this. If Tony called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, Mark, you know what? We're going to be in Vegas. I got a really cool idea. You know, I want you to get thrown through a table and hit with a bunch of kendo sticks, because we're doing this thing with FTR. We're just going to bring you out there. You're going to talk to everybody for a minute, welcome everybody to Las Vegas, and then FTR is going to destroy you, throw you out of the ring." Do you know what I'm saying to that? I'm saying, would you like me to be beat up for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? How many objects are you going to smash over my head? But don't worry about the medical expenses, dude. It's all good. You know, unless somebody does something stupid. It's fine. Am I going to sit there and say, wait, no, I should get into this 15-minute promo against FTR? No! It's my chance, and it was their chance. There's other promoters have been saying that they have been, that Newell has been asking for way too much out there. I can't confirm. Just going by the rumors that I read. That they have ex-WWE superstar syndrome. I'm sorry. Bad call. Bad call. Do you know how many women are out there right now that would love to have been in that spot? You know, I can think of a bunch. I can think of somebody like Brittany Brooks, who's going to be on the show next week. Viva Van. Gypsy Mac. You know, just some people that have done well here. Maserati. Do you think that they would... Wait, hold on, Tony. Hold on. I know I'm out here toiling on the independent circuit. And you may want to hire me, but no, we're not going to do it like that. Come on. Look, Tony is a very nice person, but he is also a businessman. This kind of stuff isn't going to fly. And I'm going to tell you what, very, very bad call by these two. Very bad. Sorry, just is. But what is not a bad call is going to be watching AEW Full Gear on Saturday. Oh, my eyes are going to be glued to the TV on this one. It is going to be awesome. This card, guys, is stacked. I don't know how Tony. Well, he does it because he's got a lot of talent on the roster. Once again, maybe we got some more matches go. There's only 9 right now. Tony, come on. Where's the 13th match? We need it. Actually, I'm quite okay with it. This is a good card. So we got to open it up. We got Boom and Doom. Big Boom AJ, great guy from Costco. But he had professional wrestling experience and he's doing well. He's going to be teaming with QT Marshall. Big Justice will be in the corner too. Against RPG Vice, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens are going to be taking on the Bang Bang Gang, and it's going to be Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson, along with Big Bill and Brian Keith and the Outrunners. It is a $200,000 4-way tag team match. Winners get $200K dropped right on the table. They can come to me. I'll pay it out. Not out of my pocket, though. That's Tony's pockets. That'll be a fun one. Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné. And we talked about Mercedes a lot in the first hour. This is going to be fascinating to see if Mercedes wins this match. She won her 13th championship this weekend. But this is the big one, man. This is it. AEW World Championship. You can win all the indie titles you want, but if you don't win this one, it's the only loss she took was when she challenged before against Tony Storm. Does she beat Chris? I say no. I think no, but in my heart, I think it wouldn't be a bad thing for Mercedes to get it and then lose it again to really start this collapse that is going to be epic. Hangman Adam Page, Samoa Joe, that became a steel cage match. That'll be for the AEW World Championship. And if you want to say Men's World Championship, it's okay, Hangy. It's all right. But that's going to be just an absolute war with Page and Samoa Joe. Brodito FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Not going to get much better than that. The $1 Million Trios match as Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express, that is Jungle Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, take on the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. $1 million. Kind of hope the Bucks win it. I don't want to see them broke anymore. Man, their wardrobe looks like crap. Now, like when Matt and Nick were out there in suits looking sharp. Now they look like they went through the Rockers section at the Salvation Army. It's not good. We have a Casino Gauntlet match for the inaugural AEW National Championship. And as long as we get through a bunch of stuff, we're going to talk about that. But we've got guys like Ricochet and Bobby Lashley and some other ones trying to win the new national championship, which is supposed to be a belt that'll be defended in multiple organizations. So it'll be kind of a world floater title, I guess. But that's going to be a lot of fun. But that certainly stirred up a hornet's nest when Tony announced it was going to be the national championship. Kyle Fletcher defends the TNT championship against Mark Briscoe. No DQ. That's going to be fun. Guys, Kyle Fletcher has just turned into something special. But I think everybody's ready for Mark Briscoe to finally win a championship in AEW. I have a feeling this is going to be the night. And we also get Darby Allin and Pac. Ah! Oh, hide your kids. Oh, look away. It's going to be bad. There's not even a stipulation on this. No falls count anywhere or anything like that. And they're still going to kill each other. Pac is just a deadly, deadly man. And Darby won't die. If you go back and look at our archives on YouTube, Darby, I did an interview with Darby who talked about his routine that he does to recover from all this crazy stuff that he does, and it's unreal. But Darby and Pac are going to try to kill each other, and I can't wait. So this should be a lot of fun, and some of the betting odds are up on those matches, by the way, on betonline.ag, where if you go to markhokeshow.com, click on the banner, it'll take you there, and then you put in the code BOL1000, matching bonus up to $1,000, so you can get $500 if you deposit $1,000, and you can bet on anything, by the way, like the football games coming up right now. Young Bucks are plus 200. Young Bucks Josh Alexander plus 200 against Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express, who are the favorites at minus 300. Mark Briscoe is the favorite in that TNT title match, minus 275. Kyle Fletcher a plus 185. AEW Women's World Championship. Statlander is the favorite, minus 300 against Mercedes Moné, plus 200. Hangman Adam Page, huge favorite. This is one of the biggest disparities on the board. He is minus 2,000 against Samoa Joe, plus 700. I want Joe to win the title. Get it back on that man. Do it now. What are we waiting for? I don't know if I could call the upset, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. And Rodito taking on FTR, and FTR is a minus 700. Wow, huge favorite for FTR against Rodito. So we'll see how that goes. But this is going to be a great show, guys, and very much worth your money. So go get it. Help out AEW. And like I said, it's hard to pick out one match that is going to be the real standout on this card. It's just going to be fun. Just like, I mean, look, I got to tell you, you watch a WWE premium live event and, oh, look, I got 5 matches. Yay. 4 of which don't mean anything. Or you watch this and it is high intensity all day long. So if you haven't watched an AEW pay-per-view, I'll tell you, Full Gear is going to be a pretty good place for you to start. So make sure you check that out coming up this weekend. Also, coming up this week is the NXT Gold Rush. They're going to be doing their shows Tuesday at the theater at Madison Square Garden. They're going to have half of it air on Tuesday night, and then the other half will be airing on Saturday. And it should be there's some fun matches in there. Blake Monroe and Sol Roca for the North American title. Ethan Page and Chelsea Green taking on Joe Hendry and Tia Hale for the AAA World Mixed Tag Team Championship. Tatum Paxley, JC Jane for the Women's Championship. Dark State taking on Javon Evans and Leon Slater, those 2 explosive young men for the NXT tag titles. The Women's Speed Championship is going to be determined. That title's vacant right now. It'll be Zarya and Fallon Henley. The TNA Knockouts World Championship is going to be defended. It's a triple threat. Kaylani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Li Ying Lee. Jackson Drake versus Sean Legacy is the Evolve Championships are going to be defended. So it's Jackson Drake, Sean Legacy on the men's side. On the women's side, Kendall Gray against Laney Reed. So get ready for that. Lot of pro wrestling for everybody as we head into what's going to be another great weekend. And I also want to remind everybody, if you're going to be doing any traveling over this weekend or coming in for WrestleMania or anything like that, hey, take a second and go to thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show, because I'm going to save you some money on some hotels. Just right now, go over there, sign up. It's free. The site is powered by Priceline. You're going to get those employee prices, those mystery prices, without having to guess, play any games. It's just going to be right there. Pick your hotel. Some great deals right now, but don't screw around for WrestleMania weekend. If Las Vegas is paying $6 million to get WrestleMania, don't think that the hotels aren't going to try to take advantage of it too. So sign up right now, thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show, and do some hotel shopping. No, and even if you're just doing it for work or whatever, maybe you're a wrestler, you travel a lot and you'd save some money. thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. All right. And when we return, SmackDown going 3 hours. Oh boy. But we had a big sellout. We've got some injury news. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Stick around, everybody. A whole lot more coming up on the final segment of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's close this thing out. Final hour, final segment of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Very happy to have you joining us. By the way, this show has been downloaded in like 170 countries. That's pretty cool. Thank you all out there. Really do appreciate it. And I know we're behind on the podcast. It's been a long few weeks. We'll get everything squared up. But very excited to have all of you on 101.5 FM along for the ride. Also with us on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download that app right now. And I promise you that you'll even look good in purple like I do. So get that app, AUDACY. And also, we are live streaming on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Just look up Mark Hoke Show and go to markhokeshow.com. We'll square a lot of that up. So, some other interesting stories. Joe Hendry has signed with WWE. He is now officially a WWE superstar. Great story for Joe. Of course, got that amazing WrestleMania moment last year, wrestling Randy Orton. Joe Hendry has what a long road for him. Congratulations to Joe Hendry. We also locally, by the way, our visitors and Convention Bureau decided to shell out a little more money. Because when, if you remember right, the WrestleMania was supposed to be in New Orleans and they moved it to Vegas. Well, here's, I'm sure, part of the reason why that WWE is going to be getting up to $6 million from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority over WrestleMania weekend in 2026. Of course, that weekend is April 18th and 19th. And it is noted that, per the story on Cultaholic, on top of WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, the city is also paying for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT Stand and Deliver, WWE World, and other events, and the Hall of Fame ceremony all included within this figure. So, ka-ching, you're welcome. WWE got my money no matter how they go about it. It's amazing. But the city, and I think they had a meeting last Wednesday that it's formally getting approved. But they said WrestleMania last year brought in $5 million in site fees and $4.2 million in tax credits. Of course, those tickets are up. Cheapest seats last we heard, $427. Ouch. That's gonna have to hit the roulette wheel, I guess, everybody. But yeah, so Las Vegas, we paid again. That's all right. Good to have WrestleMania here. Some interesting news, by the way. If you didn't see this, Kevin Owens put up a little video of him training, and that had a cat at the end of it. But it appears Kevin Owens is on his way back. I want Kevin Owens as the world champ. I'll tell you what. Look, everybody knows I'm not the biggest CM Punk guy. Yeah, you give me Kevin Owens and CM Punk. I'm good. 6-month feud with those two guys. I'll watch CM Punk. I'll be, look in my eyes. What do you see? Kevin Owens. That's what I see. Go for it. But KO is on his way back. Nikki Bella went bad. Did you see that? She saved Stephanie McCourt from a little beatdown from Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. And lo and behold, she blasts her. She said, what, you expect me to be good all the time? I'm sorry. Does anybody care about the Bellas in 2025? Look, they're nice people. They do great television. I got no interest to see Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. None. I'm sorry, I don't. WWE had better stop leaning on the legacy acts. And it's not working. Ticket sales down, ratings down. If Nikki Bella was a ratings draw, I think you'd have noticed by now. Oh, sorry, Nikki. I love you to death, sweetie, but nope. Wrestle Kingdom 20 has sold out. So New Japan, they're going to be making some money. Congratulations to them as they are in the Tokyo Dome and they are trying to get more emergency seating set up as they have sold this out. The ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the new president of New Japan, will be facing off in the main event against Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, in Tanahashi's final match. So Wrestle Kingdom 20 has blown the doors off. I knew it was going to be a pretty attractive main event on that. Did not know that we're going to pull this off. So some seriously big ticket money flying around over there for New Japan. They needed it too. They really needed it. Andrade is having issues. For those of you that haven't been following this silly little saga, Andrade was let go from WWE. He shows up on AEW thinking, hey, I'm all good. But it turns out TKO has in their contract that if we let you go for just cause, you got a 1 year non-compete clause. planetary. You can't wrestle. What is on? Does this guy have a lawyer? There is no way if you go into court and say, I mean, look, I know he put the pen to the paper, but there's no chance in hell that a 1-year no compete clause, and I mean, he couldn't come here at FSW next week and wrestle if he wanted to. He couldn't come here next year. No way that holds up. Not a chance. Andrade, there's great lawyers in Las Vegas. Maybe you need to give one a call. But boy, did he chap them by pulling that AEW stunt. I will give him that. There's TKO is a little vindictive. Just a tad. This national championship that we mentioned a little while ago that AEW has started, and they claim that the legacy of this championship goes through the Crockett days. But the big problem that is the current NWA promotion has a national championship. Well, apparently Tony Khan and Billy Corgan from NWA had a little chat, and they've been involved in lawsuits right now over the Shockwave name. But apparently there was a cordial discussion about this national championship. And I would imagine, and look, here's me putting on my booking hat again. Someone wins the national championship in AEW, and Mikey Mondo right now is the champ over there, the national champion for the NWA. Could you not see a national champion versus national champion match? Yes. Use it to make money. Pretty simple. Once again, just got to follow the money. Think. You guys get this all worked out. I want to take a second to wish Rebel all the best. Of course, she had been seconding Britt Baker for a very long time. She has had some serious health problems over the last year or so. And apparently she has now been diagnosed with primary pulmonary cancer, which is lung cancer. And that's a tough one to fight. So we want to take a second and wish Rebel all the best. I hope she's doing all right. It's going to be a fight for her. And I don't know if they're going to have a GoFundMe or not, but if it does pop up, we'll share that with you. But just a terrific person too. So we want to wish her all the best in this latest health battle that she's got. That isn't going to be fun. SmackDown apparently in January is going 3 hours. Are you excited for 3 hours of SmackDown? What % of the extra hour will be ads? How many ring intros will be filled in that 3 hours? Can Jey Uso yeet for the final hour? Can he get repeat yeets? Let's say Jay's got a match. How many times can Jey Uso break out the yeets in hour 3 of SmackDown? Oh, come on, guys. It's like my time gets taken up so much from pro wrestling. Can I just keep SmackDown at 2? For the love of God. Ugh. Oh, but anyway, so that's a lot of the big news. We get ready to see what's going to happen with John Cena here on Monday Night Raw coming up tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, get your Netflix memberships all squared away on that one, because that one will be worth it to see what takes place. Will we get the rematch with Dominic Mysterio? I don't know. We'll find out. But it's going to be fun as we get ready to wrap things up, John Cena, and we're wrapping up the show. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would take the time to follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. Hop on markhokeshow.com, check everything out, see what's happening. I want to thank Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows for joining us. Certainly do appreciate that. Make sure you visit travelshark.com/Hoke Show for all those travel deals. And, of course, give our good friend Pat Casal at the multicaregroup.com a little visit. Get your health insurance squared away. Las Vegas, I know it's been a little dreary out there, so let's be safe on those roads. We would certainly appreciate when all you getting where you're going safely. And we will see you guys next week on the Mark Hoke Show. Thanks for being with us. Have a great one, Las Vegas.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for